Nation, let's go, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? It's the Bulls Show, aka Aidan, and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a fantastic week for the Chicago Bulls. We headed into the New York trip with a big win over Charlotte, and now we have 2 wins over the Knicks and the Nets, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be talking about the Bulls and the Nets game today. It was, to be honest, a lackluster game, a game I didn't think we played very well in, but nevertheless, no matter how poorly you play in a game, the most important thing is the win. And when you're versing a top quality side like the Brooklyn Nets and you're not playing well and there are so many stats that don't fall in your favor, what you have to do is find a way to win. That's what good teams do, and that's why the Chicago Bulls picked up a big victory with a big performance in the fourth quarter from some of our guys. And I'm just extremely happy to see this team beat such good competition and to do it in good fashion in the fourth quarter. Before we get started, please like and subscribe to the Bulls Show, turn notifications on, and let me know in the comments below your thoughts about the Chicago Bulls game today. A game where at the end of the day, we were trailing for most of that game, but in the fourth quarter, when it mattered the most, we ended up taking the lead and we ended up keeping the lead, and that's what I'm really happy to see. We won this game 111-107. The Brooklyn Nets, you got to give them credit. They beat us up in a lot of ways. They beat us up in rebounding. They beat us up in second chance opportunities. They got some good shots. Obviously, Kevin Durant was once again a huge performer for them. But the end of the game, the Bulls walked out with the win, and we showed our dominance in the fourth quarter. We showed we can have huge quarters in this game. And again, we did this against the first-seeded Eastern Conference team. I think many people are starting to finally give us the respect that we deserve. Do we play well every game? No. Do we share the ball every game? No. Do we get beaten in rebounding, and do we lack size? Yes. But we are a very prolific scoring team, and we're definitely a team that can get you on both sides of the ball, defensively and offensively. And I think this game is a huge stepping stone for the Chicago Bulls. Beating them at home, I think we can all expect that. Maybe we catch them on the wrong day and we beat them at home. Beating them away when we were down the whole game, that's a big step in my opinion. Obviously, Brooklyn came off of a back-to-back, but nevertheless, they're a strong team, and they're a team you can't take lightly no matter back-to-back or not back-to-back. The fact of the matter is, this is a team that we're always going to be in competition with. They're one of the contenders in the Eastern Conference, and I'm starting to believe now we are one of those contenders too. So we need to be very strong when we verse them every single time, and we walked away with a huge victory against them. A very strong game and a very strong win for the Chicago Bulls. As I said before, I didn't like our rebounding today. I thought our rebounding was poor, and I think that led into the second chance opportunities. They had 19 second chance opportunities to 2 for the Chicago Bulls. Brown, for their team, ended up having 11 rebounds by halftime, which goes to show that we did have a little bit of a struggle in this game as well. But again, good teams find ways to win when they're struggling. We were struggling. We weren't performing at our best. Our offense wasn't really moving as much. Again, we really miss Caruso, in my opinion. Caruso is the player that does bring off-ball movement, and it allows other players to kind of move as well. We didn't see a lot of that in today's game. We saw a lot of stagnant offense, a lot of people just standing at the three-point line, letting Zach LaVine or DeMar DeRozan make a play. But at the end of the day, we won the game. That's all you can be happy about, ladies and gentlemen. This is the first time in the same year where we beat both LA teams away from home, and we've beaten both New York teams away from home. So that is a really, really good stat to have, ladies and gentlemen. It goes to show how successful we've been this season, and I'm really proud of this team. By hook or by crook, bad performance or good performance, beating the Brooklyn Nets away from home is a victory that no one can deny from us, and it's a victory that we should be very happy with. Of course, there is room to improve. We will have a couple of days off to try and find those improvements. Ladies and gentlemen, let's just talk about the individual performances today. Lonzo Ball, 8 points, 9 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks. I mean, Lonzo Ball, again, didn't have a great scoring night. 3 from 10 from the three-point line, 2 from 7 from the three-point line, 3 from 10 from the field overall. But ladies and gentlemen, when it mattered the most, Lonzo Ball iced the game for the Chicago Bulls. Kevin Durant was getting any shot he wanted, getting open dunks, mid-ranges, three-point shot. Kevin Durant single-handedly kept them in this game. James Harden didn't have a great game. Every one of their starters was just missing shots in the fourth quarter. Kevin Durant was their clutch player, and by any stretch of the means, if Kevin Durant had another opportunity, he probably would have won the game for them. But we made sure that we iced the game with DeMar DeRozan's fantastic fourth quarter performance, but also Lonzo Ball sealed a very good three for us. I'm very happy that in the one instance DeMar DeRozan trusted his teammate, it worked out very well for him. Triple-double alert for Lonzo Ball as well. He was great in my opinion. He's someone that even now with 7 assists, I don't think he ran the offense terrifically well. I thought he was mainly a shooting guard or a three-point shooter in this game rather than a facilitator, but he did his thing today, ladies and gentlemen, and he made the big shots when the big shots came to him. I'm very, very happy for Lonzo Ball. You can tell how much that meant to him. He's not had a good New York trip, but he does walk away from that New York trip with not a buzzer beater, but the dagger of the game. So congratulations to Lonzo Ball. DeMar DeRozan, 29 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists in this game today. Unbelievable fourth quarter. Absolutely unbelievable fourth quarter for DeMar DeRozan today. Shooting over Kevin Durant, driving over Kevin Durant, taking some tough fadeaways, tough mid-ranges. Absolutely phenomenal from DeMar DeRozan. Mr. Fourth Quarter himself officially now has the most shots or the most points in the fourth quarter. And ladies and gentlemen, we have walked away with another victory. He shot 54% from the field today, 50% from the three-point line, shooting 1 from 2. It's an absolutely stellar game from DeMar, and I thought he was really, really good. Obviously, Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan, this was mainly an isolation game for these two as well. A lot of dribbling, a lot of situations where we didn't see the best shot selection from either of those guys, but nevertheless, we won this game, so I'm not going to be too upset about us taking the wrong shot selection at time or us missing shots or taking shots that I don't believe were the right shots to take, because we did walk away with the win, and I'm very, very happy about that. Zach LaVine had 31 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists with 1 block in today's game. I thought Zach LaVine defensively was fine. Offensively, of course, when you get 31 and 6, that's usually a strong night. He shot 45% from the field, only 2 from 9 from the three-point line. So he struggled from the three-point line today. But mid-range, cutting to the basket, I thought Zach LaVine was absolutely sensational. He was looking for his teammates as well today as well. So you can't argue too much about his game either. And again, he was big in this game. He was big in the first half. I'm not sure what he was doing in the fourth quarter. I don't necessarily think he got too much involved. I think that was left to DeMar for DeRozan to do, because he is Mr. Fourth Quarter for us, and I think he was feeling it at the time. Good to see Zach LaVine kind of give way and allow DeMar DeRozan and trust in him to make some big plays. DeMar made some big plays. Zach LaVine had a big game, and the Bulls won a big game. Nikola Vucevic had 11 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal. This was not a great game from Nikola Vucevic. He was 5 from 13 in today's game, 1 from 3 from the three-point line. He wasn't necessarily used at all. If anybody didn't get involved in today's game, it would have been Nikola Vucevic. There was post matchups against Brown, against Harden, against Kevin Durant that just wasn't used by the Bulls. The Bulls didn't get him the ball, and therefore he ended up, the shots that he did take, he was struggling. He wasn't necessarily making good shots, and he ended up having a few poor defensive displays. LaMarcus Aldridge had a great game today, and Vucevic is responsible for LaMarcus Aldridge, and LaMarcus Aldridge definitely outplayed Vucevic today. So it's one poor game. He's had 2 really strong games, and now he's had 1 poor game. So it's about finding the balance for Vucevic. I think he can find it. Obviously, when you're versing the best team in the Eastern Conference in the Brooklyn Nets, one of the best teams out there, some players might struggle. Some players might not find their game. But I'm hoping this is just a blimp in what could be still a successful ride for Nikola Vucevic in the future. I still believe in him. I think his teammates need to get him more involved. Alex Caruso, 6 points, 1 rebound, 1 steal. That was all in 7 or 8 minutes of gameplay, ladies and gentlemen. So he did walk away with an injury, I believe. And again, I said from the very beginning, we need to lean on the side of caution when it comes to Alex Caruso and hamstring injuries. From the very beginning, it looked like he was not ready to play. He made some big shots, but at the end of the day, when you're not ready to play, you're not ready to play. It's good on him to try and give it a go, but caution matters more than giving players an opportunity to play when they're hurt. Hamstring injuries can get worse at any given time, and they can come at any given time. There's no reason for a hamstring injury. Sometimes it just happens. So at the end of the day, if he does have hamstring soreness, this is a game he should have missed. So he ended up playing the first quarter. He didn't return after that. All I could say is I hope it's not a serious injury, and I hope we took him out of the game early enough to the point where he's not going to have a couple of weeks off. That's all I can say. That is a very upsetting piece of news to hear, though, that he didn't return. And again, it just goes to show that sometimes caution is what will help you win games in the future. It's all about the long term, ladies and gentlemen. Short-term gain might affect long-term success. We won this game, but maybe Alex Caruso might be a player we don't see for a couple of weeks because of that. And that's something that I'm very upset about. Derrick Jones Jr. off of the bench had 8 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 blocks in this game. His blocks were ferocious, ladies and gentlemen. He is a fantastic athlete, and he shows it every single night. And this is just another night where he did that. I thought the responsibility of Kevin Durant overwhelmed him a little bit. I thought there were a couple of times where he just left Kevin Durant open enough to the point where he can shoot. The problem is when you're guarding Kevin Durant, you can't give him any space. As soon as he grabs the ball and he has space, you give him the opportunity to do what he wants to do. When it comes to dribbling into the midfield, into the mid-range area and taking a shot, when it comes to the open threes or just even a dunk, you have to pick him up to the point where he can't get the ball. And if he does get the ball, then that's it. That's where Kevin Durant's going to get his bread and butter. That's unstoppable. But you have to deny him. And I think we left him up with a lot of space. And Derrick Jones Jr. for the most part was guarding Kevin Durant that game. So there is a little bit of lessons to learn there. And I think he will do a lot better in the next time that we verse them. I think we verse them one more time this season. Ayo Dosunmu, ladies and gentlemen, 11 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks in this game. And he had a massive fourth quarter for the Chicago Bulls. An unbelievably strong fourth quarter for this team. And I'm just so happy to see that when it comes to the big moments, he was not afraid. He was guarding James Harden. He was ending up making some big shots, some big putbacks, got a big block in the fourth quarter as well. Unbelievably strong. And I believe he's plus minus, again, it's a stat that I don't look at, and I don't necessarily know the exact stat, but I'm sure his plus minus is the highest on the team. Because as soon as he was on, we ended up having a really strong run for the most part when he was on. And the fourth quarter is a big responsibility for that as well. So I had a great game in my opinion. And again, he's a big reason as to why we won this game. You got to give full credit. Our rookie stepped up when we needed him the most. Congratulations to Ayo on a great game. And this is just another game that I expected. The Knicks game, he was poor, but I said in that game, the next game for Ayo, I'm not worried. I'm not worried about Ayo because I know his mentality will make him become good most often than not. Just because he has one bad game, he has the mentality of fearless. He's fearless and he's not afraid. So when you have those two categories combined, when you're fearless and you go for everything that you can, you bring the energy that you do, most often than not, you're going to be a good performer on the team. So, of course, I wasn't afraid and I wasn't worried about Ayo. Troy Brown Jr. had 5 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. I thought Troy Brown was pretty good today, but his shooting was off. Way off. Air balls. He missed a wide open layup as well. He missed a free throw. Speaking of, this entire team needs to work on its free throws now because I think if we made anywhere near the free throws that we did, the first half would have been our half. And so would the second. We had so many free throws, yet we missed so many as well. We need to get to the line, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to practice our free throws. That's the next step for the Bulls for the next game. I don't want to see anywhere near the amount of free throws missed that we did today. But nevertheless, Troy Brown Jr., good defensive player, good facilitator. He had a really nice pass to Vucevic for a 3, and his rebounds was very well needed as well, considering we were very poor on the glass today. And of course, Tony Bradley and Alize Johnson played today. They didn't play significant minutes. I'm really happy with Tony Bradley's performance with 2 points and 3 rebounds. Alize only had 2 rebounds. I'm not going to mention them too much in this video because they only played 6 minutes or so. So not much point mentioning them. But I thought Tony Bradley made a good impact while he was on. Looking at the must improve, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to give it to big Nikola Vucevic. Again, it's not even his offense that really hurt the Chicago Bulls. Again, I don't think the Bulls even trusted him enough to pass it to him in the post. So you can't really blame Vucevic for not getting involved offensively if the team didn't pass him the ball offensively. But it's the defensive side that really affected me. I thought he could have done much better on LaMarcus Aldridge. A lot of shots that LaMarcus Aldridge had was in the paint, easy layups, easy putbacks and stuff like that. And I think Vooch could do a lot better in terms of getting more rebounds, in terms of kind of blocking some shots a little bit. And I don't think he did a great job there. The fadeaways and the mid-ranges for LaMarcus Aldridge, that's what he's been doing his whole career. I can't say Vucevic can stop those, because at the end of the day, I don't think Vucevic can stop those. But when it comes to easy points in the paint, I think Vucevic could do a lot better than what he did today. I don't know if he wasn't ready to play or if the offense just made him lackluster defensively, but Vucevic seems like the type of center, if you don't get him involved, he's not going to be connected defensively either. So interesting to see, and obviously I hope we get him more involved in the next game. And my player of the game is going to be I think it's going to be DeMar DeRozan. Again, Zach LaVine had a fantastic night, but the efficiency let him down, especially from the three-point line. And DeMar DeRozan had a massive fourth quarter. Lonzo Ball deserves to be in this category as well. Unbelievably well-rounded game for Lonzo Ball. DeMar DeRozan was big in the fourth quarter. Zach LaVine was pretty good in the first half. Those are the players that I would truly want to give it to. Those are the three players there, Lonzo, DeMar, or Zach, that could be in contention. The big baller definitely deserves a lot of praise for that big shot. And if he didn't make that big shot, we could potentially be seeing an overtime game right now. That's how close the game was. So Lonzo Ball deserves it. Zach LaVine deserves it. I'm going to give it to DeMar DeRozan because of his big fourth quarter. He definitely deserves it as well. The Bulls' record is 16-8, ladies and gentlemen, a big win over the Brooklyn Nets. We still remain second in the Eastern Conference, I believe, because the Brooklyn Nets have 16, I believe they're 16-7 or 16-6. So, of course, we're going to remain second in the Eastern Conference, ladies and gentlemen. But at the end of the day, you can only do what you can do. You can only control what you can control. That's a big win against the first team in the Eastern Conference. That's a big win against the New York Knicks. It's a big win against Charlotte. All of these teams were in contention for the Chicago Bulls spot. At any given time, if we lost one of those games, that team could have taken our spot. Obviously, maybe not New York Knicks, but the Hornets, at the time, they were in the top 5 when we versed them. Brooklyn are obviously first. The Knicks are obviously a dangerous team as well. So beating these types of opposition is all we can do. We have to handle our business in the Eastern Conference, and that's exactly what we've done. So a very good game and a very good record for the Chicago Bulls. Our next game is going to be at home against the Denver Nuggets at the United Center. Denver is obviously going to look for revenge. That was a really close game that we had away from home against them. We have versed them once before. We picked up a win away from home. They're going to be short-staffed. I believe they have Michael Porter Jr. that won't be playing. So yeah, they're going to be very similar to the situation that we're in. We don't have a fully healthy roster, and neither do they. So it's going to be a tough competitive game, and just by looking at the Chicago Bulls and looking how well we are performing so far, this is another game where I walk in very confident. We're on a 3-game win streak now, ladies and gentlemen. I hope we can extend it even more. Beating Denver is going to be a great sign for the Chicago Bulls, and it's at home, so our home crowd will be there cheering us on, and I feel very confident. Let's see if we could go out and beat Denver. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe if you're new. Hopefully you enjoyed the video, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully you enjoyed the 3-game win streak. I will see you against the Denver Nuggets. Take care and peace.